Sup? Hold on. What's going on? Been live for 20 seconds. Is there a reason why it doesn't work? Oh, there we go. I don't know why it's not working on the page it's supposed to be working on. Whatever, stupid Gremlin Lord. Anyway, this is GremBro Live, episode 17. Even though it's my first time, never forget. Okay? Never forget to subscribe to the channel. Okay? Okay. Hi. Welcome to GremlinLord Live, episode 17. Never forget to subscribe. Today we're talking about 4 movies that I watched this week called Twinless, Caught Stealing, The Roses, and Jaws. It is a variety pack of films this time, but they all have a theme of, in a very distant way, patriotism, America. Yeah. Happy 9/11, everyone. Hi, Prince. Happy 9/11. Hope you're having a good time, celebrating and all that. Let's see, where is my Word document? There it is. Now, please don't autoplay trailers. I don't need play trailers to be played. So, what movie should we start with today? So get right into it, because it's important for us to get this ball rolling. See, I wasn't late. How about that? How about that? Prince, as usual, what movie do you want to talk about first? Come on, soy boy. What do you want to talk about? Twinless? Ugh. I'll let Gremlin talk about that because that's a little for me. Fine, I'll do it. So that's the movie that I saw today, is Twinless, starring Dylan O'Brien and James Sweeney, who I don't think is related to Sydney Sweeney. I love the fact that that HVAC just turned on now. Love that. I didn't watch a trailer for this when I went to go see this. I literally saw this completely blind. I only read the brief synopsis on IMDb or like on the Regal app. 2 grieving men bond in a support group and form an unlikely friendship. Very descriptive. In Twinless, 2 young men meet in a twin support group and form an unlikely friendship. Roman, Dylan O'Brien, and Dennis, James Sweeney, both search for solace and an identity without their other halves, and soon become inseparable outside the group. But when Roman meets Dennis's ebullient co-worker Marcy, all is revealed to not be what it seems, as each man harbors secrets that could unravel everything. How did it make me feel? I mean, it's funny, but it's also very sad of a movie. Like I said, I didn't know what I was getting into when I went into the movie. So I just knew that, oh, they both lost a twin. and in the support group, and they became friends. That's all I know. I did watch the trailer when I got home, and it doesn't tell you the twist in the trailer, which is actually really good. So it's going to make it hard for me to talk about the movie because I don't want to spoil that for you, because that would be inappropriate. I will say that both leads were really, really good. I liked Dylan O'Brien quite a bit. He's really like kind of, I would say he's more the main lead. I mean, they're both leads, but he was really good. James Sweeney, I was thinking he was somebody else. He also wrote the movie and directed the movie, James Sweeney, and he stars in it. Yeah, it's Portugal. Yeah, woo, go football. I don't know James Sweeney from anything. I looked at him as IMDb and I didn't recognize him from anything. He hasn't done a lot. I mean, Dylan O'Brien, I know. Lauren Graham is also in it. She's the mom from Gilmore Girls. Let's see. And then the guy from Abbott Elementary is in it a little bit. The redhead guy. The gay guy from Abbott Elementary. Chris Perfetti. So, that was fun. But basically, you know, it's two guys who meet at a twin support group for people who've lost their other half. And they kind of form a friendship. And it talks about codependency, the idea that you always have a built-in best friend when you're a child in a twin. You know, there's always somebody there to share your birthday party. There's always somebody there to have toys. Like, there's always somebody there to play with. And Roman, Dylan O'Brien, talks about how he feels like he became too codependent on Twin because everything else just seems to take forever when it's just by himself. And I really liked it, and I thought it was really what I was. I'm not trying to spoil anything. So like the first 25-30 minutes went off really nicely, and then once they reveal something, like more of the story comes to fruition, I was just like, oh. And it was still fine. Like, the movie was still really good. It's just, it wasn't what I was expecting. And God, it's so hard to talk about it without. I'm not trying to spoil the twist, so which I'm not going to. But yeah, there were a lot of sweet moments. There was a lot of odd moments and creepy moments. I didn't get scared. I had the whole theater to myself, so even if I got scared, it wouldn't matter. I did cry a little bit. There's a lot of heavy emotional things in it. There's some really fun shots. Like, they go to a party together, and when they separate, like one goes to get a drink and one stops to talk to somebody, the camera separates like straight down the middle, and then we just see both of them doing their things at the party. That was a really cool camera effect. They also go to like an art museum, like one of those interactive art museums, which of course is going to be a lot of fun visuals in there. I was really blown away by Dylan O'Brien, though. I thought he did a phenomenal job. But he really did a really good job because he plays himself and his twin. So he plays two completely different people. And I thought that worked really well. And he carried himself differently in both characters. And yeah, I'm just genuinely impressed. Because I don't really think I've seen him in much. I know, like I said, I know he's in Teen Wolf, but I couldn't tell you anything else on top of my head that I know him from. And it's the same thing with, oh, he is in the new movie coming out called Anniversary, which I saw the trailer for today and yesterday. That looks pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, because like I said, Teen Wolf is one of those teen shows that I never watched, so I wasn't really expecting a lot from him. But he's really, really good. I didn't see the Maze Runner, all that dystopian young adult fiction stuff. I didn't watch that stuff. Come on. Get with it. Wait a second. Are you joking? The woman who plays Marcy, which is her Dennis's co-worker who Roman, Dylan O'Brien, falls for, she played the wife in Speak No Evil with James McAvoy. Oh, I didn't even recognize her. She was super cute in this movie. Super cute, super nice, super sweet. She was like a fantastic little character. I liked her a lot. Wow, I didn't realize that was her in that. She was not super nice and super sweet in Speak No Evil. That is for sure. Not in the least. I thought I knew James Sweeney. I keep picturing a guy in my head in something that I've seen. But it's not him, because I looked at all the stuff he's made, and none of them spring to mind this character. The whole way home I kept thinking of this character, because he's gay and he's like really effeminate in this role that I'm thinking of, but I can't pinpoint what role it is, and I'm thinking that it's not actually him, and that this is just me attributing another guy who looks similar to him to him. So I can't think of even what I'm thinking of. Like, I don't know if I could figure out what movie or TV show I'm thinking of, then I can figure out who that actor is. But I have no clue. But it was I really enjoyed it. Most of the supporting characters were really good too. I mean, there's a lot of little bit parts. It really focuses on Roman and Dennis, and then Marcy as well. Lauren Graham was good though as Dylan's mom. She didn't have a lot of parts, but what she did have was nice. I will say that when things started to happen, I was left a little dumbfounded. Like, I wasn't expecting the twist or where the story went, because again I went into this blind, so I wasn't really expecting anything. And when stuff started to happen, I was just like, oh. And it was just very very surprising. It wasn't bad though. Like I said, I still liked it. I very much enjoyed the film. And I'm glad. You gotta support the indies, It came out September 5th, just 6 days ago. And it's made $507,000. You got that from the trailer? Really? I just watched the trailer and I didn't get that from the trailer. But you're right. And that really stuck out to me. It was just very, I don't know. It was a really complete story. And I liked watching it. I didn't recognize basically any of the music in it. Yeah, let's say James Sweeney did a really good job with this movie. I think his acting left a little to be desired in some parts. It was good, but there were just some parts where I just kind of felt like he was maybe not doing as much as Dylan O'Brien was. Would I watch it again? I mean, I guess it's a Lionsgate film. It's released by Lionsgate, which means it might end up in the bargain bin at some point because the bargain bin is always full of Lionsgate films. If they give it a physical release. They've been not doing physical releases for a lot of things, so it's really disappointing. I'd watch it again, though. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, honestly, watching it alone allowed me to really absorb and, like, put myself into the situations that were happening on screen. There were parts where I was like cringing, and I was like, no. It's like I said, it goes off the deep end in quite a few places. There is nudity in this one, just so you know. You see Dylan O'Brien. Well, I guess both the male leads. Yeah, it was only me in a theater, and it was the big theater. Well, a big theater. Not the big. The big theater has like double stairs and seats on the other side of the stairs. They were showing Demon Slayer, Infinite Castle, or whatever in that one. What is this? This isn't a trailer for that movie. This is just another. Oh, it's a Mighty Ducks thing. That's just another Lauren Graham movie. I do enjoy being in a movie theater alone. But no, it because you know, Dylan plays both twins, so he plays the gay twin as well. And the gay twin has relations. So we see some of that action. We see some hetero action as well. There's something for everyone in the movie. But there's quite a few behinds in it. So this is the behinds. Yeah, I got a ticket for Demon Slayer. I didn't watch it. But I'm trying to get a foreign language film for a Regal badge. So, but no, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It is. I haven't given it a score yet at all. We're giving it here in the moment, live. Her name is Lola. Nah, her name is Akko. I don't know. It's sitting at an 8. It's sitting at an 8 on IMDb. That's high. That is really high. That's higher than Jaws. I would assume because not a lot of people have watched it or reviewed it. Worthwhile, gripping, Dylan O'Brien is great, Twinless, and the weight of being left out. I want a twin. There's a 1 review? Who gave a 1? Did they write a review? No. Of course they didn't. I don't know, I was very enthralled by the film. Like I said, I love going into movies completely blind with like a bare minimum of understanding of the film. I love that. Oh, IMDb just prompted me to rate it. Yeah, I mean, like, avoiding trailers is the best. How about you spell Twinless correctly, then you can write a rating for it. Because it was just so nice to just be surprised by everything in it and not have to worry about, well, you know, waiting for a certain scene to come up because I've already seen it in the trailer. So I'm actually surprised this movie played at my theater because, like I said, it's a very small film. Although it was at one of those festivals, TIFF Festival, I think, TIF. He began writing this movie in 2015. There's even violence in it, you know? Kids love violence. How am I doing? We're doing fantastic. At the Palm Springs International, it won Director to Watch. At the Seattle International Film Festival, it got second place for Best Film, and it won Best Director. At Sundance, He won the grand jury, or the nominee for drama. And he got the audience award for U.S. drama. And Dylan O'Brien got the acting. Great. Well, currently I'm talking about the movie Twinless. We're wrapping up talking about Twinless. It came out September 5th. It's in theaters right now. About two guys who are twins and they lost their twin and they meet each other in a support group and become friends. And it talks about the dynamics of having a twin, what it means to be codependent and self-dependent, and what happens when drama arises. It's rated R. So, if you aren't of age, you cannot watch it. But no, I really liked it. Wow, what am I going to rate it now? I'm feeling like an 8.5, but it's like, is there anything that's making it not a 9? You know? I don't think so. I would have liked a little bit more of an ending. I feel like the ending was a little too abrupt for my liking. I wouldn't have minded a little bit more closure. I mean, we get closure, but I wouldn't mind a smidge more. I'd rather watch a movie on your phone. I get that. But, you know, I love going to the movies, so. And I was the only person in my theater. If anybody was going to cause a disturbance, it was going to be me. I was the only person in the theater last night, too. But not for Jaws, and not for The Roses. Duh, and 8. I mean, like I said, I feel like it's a little bit better than an 8 now. I think we'll give it an 8.5. Maybe I'll change my mind when I actually write my review for it on IMDb, but I think it's what we'll sit at for right now. Oh yeah, I've seen 4 movies this week. All the 4 movies we're talking about, I've seen them all this week. I mean, I've seen Jaws before. I just rewatched the 50th anniversary edition in 3D in theaters. So that's Twinless. An 8.5 out of 10. Highly recommend. It is rated R. There is nudity and sensuality. That may not be for everyone. This is actually a very good group of movies. I'm going to pick the next movie, and it's going to be Caught Stealing. I just watched this last night. Again, only person in the theater. Burned out ex-baseball player Hank Thompson unexpectedly finds himself embroiled in a dangerous struggle for survival amidst the criminal underbelly of 1990s New York City, forced to navigate a treacherous underworld he never imagined. So this movie obviously stars Austin Butler as Hank Thompson. Zoe Kravitz plays his girlfriend, Yvonne. Regina King plays Detective Roman. Ah, another Roman. Let's see, who else do we have in here? That was your last choice? Oh, it was really good, Prince. It was really good. Much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be fine, but it was actually really good. Let's see, who else is in this movie? I don't know who Action Bronson is, but apparently it's somebody that people know of. Matt Smith is in it. I don't really know him. I mean, obviously he was Doctor Who, but I only know him from The Crown. Vincent D'Onofrio and Liev Schreiber are in it. They play the Hasidic Jewish assassin guys. And there's a cute little kitty who's played by Tonic the cat. It's by Darren Aronofsky. Written by Charlie Houston. Charlie Houston also wrote the book that this is based on. I do have a review for this though. This one I have a written review. So this one fits our theme of 9/11 celebration because literally the opening shot is of the Twin Towers because the movie takes place in 1998, which is obviously prior to them falling. They show them in a couple scenes. It really felt like a love letter to the 90s, and it wasn't like in your face like 90s stuff like they do sometimes in shows like, hey look, it's the 90s, everybody's wearing, you know, Jinko jeans and, you know, stuff like that. It wasn't like that. It's very much a world of the 90s, so you feel like you're there kind of thing. I just thought it was really funny that it opens on the World Trade Center and today is 9/11. I was like, huh, what an odd coincidence. And like I said, it was actually really fun. What is this movie? I think it's over, is it 2 hours long or an hour 47? It's violent. It is very violent. There's a little bit of gore. There's some sensuality. It's definitely earned that R rating, mind you. So if you are not old enough for that, I would suggest not watching it. Austin Butler, I gotta say, he's looking good. I mean, you can see in the trailer he looks good. So Zoe Kravitz looks really good. There's scenes where they're looking good together were very nice. Let's see. Everybody has like their roles and they really perform their roles really well. It can come off maybe a little, not stereotyped, but like a little cliche, I guess, you know, because like you have the Russians, you have the Puerto Rican guy, you have like the cop, you have the Jewish people, like they're all very much in what you would expect their characters to be, but it's not like offensively what the characters are supposed to be. I don't know. I feel like it was done really well. Don't say ew. Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler are attractive people. We can enjoy attractive people being attractive together. Okay? I mean, even if they do come off a little stereotypical, you can make the argument that, oh, it's just supposed to be like how 90s movies are. You know, 90s movies have the stereotypical type of characters as well. You could just say that that's a, you could just say that that is a on-purpose artistic decision. You could say that. But no, yeah, like I was enjoying it, like every second of it, to be honest. And I was very surprised. Like I said, I thought it was going to be a very mid movie. Like, oh, okay. The cat was really cute. I'm not a big cat person, but the cat was actually, I don't want to say well acted, but the cat was really good. It stole the scene in a couple parts. And apparently it did some things that they weren't expecting it to do. Like it would go check on Austin Butler when he was injured, and like the cat wasn't supposed to do that, but they kept it in the movie and sometimes because it showed like the cat was bonding with him. So that was pretty fun. Let's see, there was a lot of action, obviously. There were some plot twists in there, and it really just kept the plot very interesting, and it flowed very nicely. I didn't feel like there was like a pacing issue or anything. It wasn't like really weird lulls in between. Things slow down at some points, but it made sense because it gives you time to recover, gives your character time to recover. So all that was really nice. There were shocking deaths, and I don't mean deaths that were shocking to happen, like like the act of killing these people, that wasn't very shocking. But the fact that characters were killed kind of indiscriminately was surprising. I wasn't expecting some characters to die, but they did. And I was like, oh, like I was just surprised that some of these characters died. So, but again, I liked it. It gives like a certain finality to the film, I guess. And people were dying like throughout the whole movie. There was some people killed off screen, which I didn't really care for. I mean, it's okay to kill somebody off screen, but I kind of wish we would saw a little bit of like a lead up to that. I mean, if you're gonna kill somebody off screen, I wouldn't have minded to see maybe a struggle or a little bit of foreshadowing or something like that, instead of just they're dead. But when the characters find each other dead, you know, that kind of puts you in the shoes of the characters a bit better, because you're just as surprised as they are to find the dead body. So yeah, it is that kind of movie. It is that kind of movie. People do die. It is that. So, but like I said, it does kind of put you in that character's shoes, if you're into that kind of thing, to see the bodies the same way they see it. I will say my main complaint with the movie, though, is that they ask you to suspend your belief in reality within like the first 20 minutes. You know, obviously in the trailer they show Austin Butler getting punched in the face by the Russian dudes, and they knock his bagel out of his hand, which I didn't realize was a bagel. I thought it was a rice cake. It's a bagel. But he gets injured, like, pretty badly from that, and then but then the rest of the movie, you know, he's still injured, but he's running and jumping and sliding, doing all this stuff with this grave injury. It's not as big of a deal as maybe I'm making it, but it does kind of, I guess it really depends on how much you put into it. Like, if you're one of those people who's like, ugh, this is fake, this isn't real, this can't happen, then you're going to be upset. To me, I just kind of took it with a grain of salt. I felt like the rest of the movie kind of balanced it out some. I mean, he is injured, and they do show him being injured throughout the film. You know, he does have instances where he can't do something, or they show the injury again. Like, they do that. But it's just, you can't really say, oh, it's adrenaline. Like, he's doing too much with these injuries. Like, he was like life-threatening injuries. But then it's funny because another character has injuries, and his injuries are very much more fleshed out. So somebody gets like a concussion and multiple head injuries, and they actually experience those, and they show them having experiences with those, and they're dizzy and they fall over. Like, it was odd because they showed that, but then they would have Austin Butler's character, his injuries were more subdued despite his being very traumatic. So it's kind of a realism thing. It contrasts with the gritty realism of the rest of the film, that they make you kind of pretend that, oh, you know, he could still do these things. Because he's not super young. I mean, Austin Butler's obviously younger than I am, but I saw one review say, you know, if he could do all this running and jumping, why can't he play baseball? And it's like, because he moved to New York City 11 years ago. I believe that's what they said in the movie. So it would put him at least being 28, 29. So he's not going to start playing baseball at 28, 29. There was a very interesting cameo. It's not a spoiler. But he talks to his mom on the phone a lot. Also Butler does. And I recognize, yeah, he was on 5 Hour Energy. He had Red Bull, gave him wings. But he talks to his mom on the phone, and I heard the voice, and I was like, I know that woman's voice. I know, and like after like the third phone call, I was like, I know who that is. And sure enough, when they show the mom at the end, it's not a secret. I mean, she's in the cast listing. It's Laura Dern. But I was like, ooh, I know that voice. And sure enough, it was Laura Dern. It's a very small part. It's pretty negligible, really. Honestly, it could have been any woman. But the fact that it was Laura Dern was nice. Because I do like her. The movie takes place probably over no more than a week, I'd say. Which, again, that's how you know that he's not recovering from these injuries. So, when you watch it, you'll be like, no. That's not realistic at all. Now, I don't know if you've seen this. I actually saw it on TikTok a couple of days ago. The credits for this movie are bizarre. So, there's like a little animated thing, but when the credits are coming up, they go with the music. So when the music's playing, there's a lot of like punk rock, ska type of stuff, and so the song will go da 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 da, and then the words will go like that as well as they go up, and then they'll shift and they'll go sideways and Jesus, there's like a motorcycle outside. I have a couple videos of it. I'll post it in Discord. It was very fun, but then it was like, I can't read these credits. Oh my god, we get it. You have a motorcycle guy. We got it. But it's like, I would hate to be like that person whose name's doing this on the screen. Because you're like, look, Mom, there's me in the credits. Oh, no, there's me in the credits. Oh, now I'm gone. Like, it's just bouncing around. So, but it was fun. And like the credits for Twinless were also nice too. So it's like, I'm kind of digging this change in just plain credits. Like, give us some colors. Give us color font. You know? It's nice. It gives you something different to look at. I like when credits have a little something something. I mean, the threesome that we did a review for last week, which is available for you to watch, their credits have bloopers in them, which is nice too. I remember movies used to always do that, put the bloopers at the end. That's fun stuff. There were some artistic shots in Caught Stealing. I think it's in the trailer of like a car crashing. And while I like it, and I think it's really cool, I think it doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the rest of the film. The rest of the film is shot very like a gritty guerrilla type style, and then you just have like this slow-mo car accident. And I just feel like it didn't visually fit. It worked in one of the scenes, but then it happened a couple other times, and I was like, you know, I don't think we need to see that again in that way. But who knows? But yeah, I was actually really surprised about this film. And I didn't predict the twists and turns in it. So I was surprised watching it. You know, I didn't have my finger on the pulse. But it really was, not to sound corny, but adrenaline. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. Because remember I told you last night that I was worried about seeing something slow because I might fall asleep because I had a big dinner. I did doze off watching the trailer for Him, which is hilarious. But I didn't feel tired at all watching Caught Stealing. I really, really liked it. Yeah, I don't know how I dozed off watching a trailer for Him, because that's like nothing but screaming and loud noises and wah, 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 you know. But I was just like, just following this. Oh. But no, Caught Stealing is a very surprise. It's sitting at a 7.3. It has currently made $25 million. I've fallen asleep in theaters before. Of course. I fell asleep watching Signs. I had to rewatch it at some point because I fell asleep through most of Signs. But it was also like 10 o'clock at night watching Signs after being in the sun all day down at the boardwalk. So I was. Um, yeah, it's not a big. It doesn't have its budget on here. I would assume it was a smaller budget film. Let's look. Let's search for caught stealing budget. 40 million. Eesh. That's not good. It only made 25 million. Despite strong reviews and positive critical reception, the film has struggled to recover its budget through domestic ticket sales alone. We didn't even really talk about the plot, did we? Basically, he just gets caught up in a drug thing. Everybody's out to get him, and it's not even his fault. But again, another movie I would definitely recommend. So, it's been a good week for film. It's been a good week. Male nudity? Was there male nudity in this? There's nudity, but it's definitely Zoe Kravitz nudity. When people are nude, when things are shown from the side, I don't consider that like crazy nudity. Because I mean, seeing an outline of people isn't really as much as seeing like cheeks, but I don't know. I keep thinking of Dylan O'Brien's nudity instead. So what would I rate Caught Stealing? Again, I was genuinely surprised, and I did like it. I had a good time with it. I would definitely buy this on DVD or Blu-ray. I wonder if we will get a physical release, considering it's not super successful. I don't know. The suspending your belief thing is a little disappointing. The cast is great, the acting's great, visuals are good, the flow is good, the pacing's good. There's no like crazy special effects. Obviously, the World Trade Center is not real because it doesn't exist. I'm kind of leaning towards an 8, to be honest. Feels like I'm giving high scores to everything, but I really enjoyed myself. I feel like this would be a movie that if I would have went and saw with my dad, and he would have really liked it. If I'm being honest, I think this is the kind of movie he would have enjoyed. Plus, you know, Zoe Kravitz, dude, he would definitely enjoy that. So I'm gonna give it an 8. Yep, I'm going there. I'm giving it an 8. Can you believe it? An 8. Whew. It was good. It was good. Prince, it was good. Again, I was very surprised. I was very surprised. It looks... I don't believe it. Looks can be deceiving. Again, if you get super upset about suspending your belief, like if you saw him be injured like that and then do the other things and you're just like, nope, it's too fake, that would never happen, every time he does something that seems fantastical you just roll your eyes, that it's not going to be a movie for you. You're going to get annoyed the whole time. I just kind of, you know, shrugged it off after a bit. Because they did show him being more injured, but it's just, you still just have to kind of suspend your belief a little too much. For a lot of people, I'm assuming. So. But yeah, Caught Stealing, 8. What should our next movie be? We have Jaws and we have The Roses. Come on, audience. Let your voice be heard. Jaws. You have seen Jaws, right? This isn't like a new thing for you, right? Please tell me you've seen Jaws. Okay, I was nervous there for a second. I mean, I know I haven't seen a lot of American classics, but it got me nervous there that you didn't see Jaws. So I don't really need to introduce Jaws, right? Everybody knows what Jaws is. When a massive killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community off Long Island. Off Long Island? It's up to the local police chief, a marine biologist, and an old seafarer to hunt the beast down. Rated PG. Jaws is rated PG, which is insane. I mean, obviously, they didn't change the movie standards until after Jaws was released, but it is rated PG. Which is crazy, because you see people obviously get killed by sharks. Quite a few people, including one guy who gets chomped on. There's blood, there's body parts, there's children getting killed by the shark. So, I mean, the fact that it's PG to me is just both hilarious and crazy. And it's probably one of the reasons why it was so successful. This is the 50th anniversary of Jaws, by the way. I saw it in 3D. There was an issue with the theater. I had to leave. Well, there was two people sitting down in front of me, and I got up and I asked them if it was blurry for them, because everything was like double on the screen, even with the glasses. So, and they said, yeah, it was blurry for them too. Hey, Jaws is currently on Netflix, by the way. Yeah, so I had to go out but they fixed it and it was fine. So this movie came out 50 years ago on June 20th, 1975. Well, they weren't going to get up, so. And I've already seen Jaws, so it wasn't like I was going to miss something that I hadn't seen before. And there was a little blurb in the beginning from Steven Spielberg. He was talking to us there. Exactly. I wasn't born for another 50 years. And he was talking about making the movie and how hard it was and how awful it was, because the shark was always messing up, because there were 3 different sharks and they were always breaking down. And they filmed in the actual ocean. Like, they didn't film a water tank like most movies nowadays. They were filming in the actual ocean. And how hard it was to do that. Yeah, they lost one. And the thing is that he was 27 years old when he made this movie. 27. Can you imagine making a movie as a director at 27 that becomes one of the most iconic films in American cinema? It's insane. When I was 27, I was folding clothes at Old Navy. This man is making cinema history. Literally cinema history. Because the film ran... I did some research on Jaws just to talk about it. Production of Jaws went long. And instead of having a Christmas release, it gave a summer release. Which you would think would make sense. But apparently, at that point, summer releases were for films to go die. Like, there wasn't like a summer season the way there is now, because people would go on vacation, they would go to the beach, they would go do things, they didn't spend their time in a movie theater. But Jaws is literally the originator of a blockbuster. Jaws was the #1, the highest grossing film ever when it came out, which is crazy. It's also one of the first movies that passed like $100 million. It wasn't playing on as many screens as movies play on now either. Like, it's literally it's a blockbuster. It's literally a mold-breaking film, which I never realized. Look up Judge Holden. I don't know who that is. Exactly. That's the thing. Jaws is something so different. Obviously, it's not the highest grossing film anymore, you know, but it was passed by Star Wars a couple of years later. But it definitely was the highest grossing film. I was just so surprised, because I don't know. But it was also massively influential in filmmaking and in the way people responded. About me? Make a movie about me? Thank you. I agree. They should make a movie about me. I mean, obviously, Star Wars. I just read Star Wars on my screen. Created shark panic, so people were afraid to go in the ocean. People started killing sharks for fun, to stop this type of stuff. Look, Mr. Biscuits, I am phenomenal. Okay, I'm phenomenal. I'm phenomenal. People are telling me I'm phenomenal. People say it. You know, so kind of like how it was with clowns. I'm on a PC? Nope. I'm actually on a chair. Pretty cool, huh? I'm a little busy at the moment. Kind of doing a YouTube live to look up some random people. I'll look up random people when I'm done. So there was a lot of mass shark killing. People were hunting them because of this movie. And the guy who wrote the book and wrote the movie actually became a shark conservationist later in life because he felt guilty about how people... One of those professional people? Yeah, that's me. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. You hate YouTube Live, people. It's YouTube Live. I do one a month. Calm your biscuits. It's just crazy that like, it created this false narrative about sharks, right? So people were going into this movie and watching it and thinking that sharks were these vengeful creatures that were hunting down people, which obviously is not the truth. Sharks aren't hunting down people. You know, they don't have these personal vendettas. So if you want to call Jaws fake, you can call Jaws fake. You know, because it is. So if you want to give it a low score because of that, you could. I'm not going to do that. Because, frankly speaking, I think that's part of the allure of Jaws. And I was telling the aunt about this yesterday, is that sharks were more of a mystery in the 70s. You know, people knew what sharks were, obviously. But the information on them was a lot more limited now, or then, than it is now. I mean, they show the sheriff is looking through an encyclopedia at pictures of sharks. So they could get away with creating this fantastical version of sharks because people didn't know any better, I guess, is what I would say. Which is why it created the hysteria after the movie came out, because people didn't know any better. You know, and Steven Spielberg's come out and talked about it as well, about how he kind of regrets that, but, you know, it's a movie. For him, it's just a movie. So, but it definitely was worth it seeing it in theaters because it's a 4K resolution. They restored the film. It was 4K, and it was in 3D, and it was a really nice 3D, you know. It felt like you could see more details of the film, and it was really nice. I actually really liked that experience. Sometimes 3D can be kind of sticky, but it was actually done really well, and I really liked it. It felt like a time capsule of the 70s. You know, all the outfits, the cars, and really the technology, how limited they were. Seeing them talk about, oh, we're using sonar, and it's like, oh, and it's like this contraption that they're using for it, and it's like, because I mean, I've seen Jaws, but I haven't seen it in probably decades. I told you I did get scared. There was one scene that scared me in Jaws, and I'll tell you what it is, because if you haven't seen Jaws in the past 50 years, that's on you, not on me. There's a scene where they're investigating a boat crash, and there's a guy, he's underwater in scuba gear, Richard Dreyfuss's character, and he's looking at the hull, seeing where the shark, you know, punctured the hull of the boat, and like a dead body just floats right into the screen, and it has like, you know, a sharp orchestral sting and everything, and I was like, oh! It got me. It did get me. None of the shark stuff got me because I knew the shark stuff was going to happen. I didn't realize that that was going to happen. Again, this is rated PG. A bloated dead body, rated PG. But yeah, all the shark stuff didn't scare me. But I can see it scaring people though. And to be honest, the shark, obviously it's not a real shark. They do have footage of real sharks though. But it still looked fine. It didn't look as fake as I was expecting. Like in my memory, I guess I thought it looked more fake in my head. I mean, obviously it's not real. But I think it looked fine. You know, there is a real shark in the movie though. When they catch a shark and they say that's the one that was killing people, that's actually a real shark. They transported the dead shark from Florida up to the East Coast to have it there. And apparently it was super rank, and they had it, hanging by its tail in the movie. And all its organs were like sitting in its mouth and stuff because it was just hanging there for so long. So apparently it was really disgusting, and the smell was awful because it started to decompose because they were filming. Yeah, they literally shipped a dead shark hundreds of miles to film it because they filmed this at Martha's Vineyard. Let's see, Roy Scheider was Brody, Robert Shaw was Quint, Richard Dreyfuss was Hooper, Lorraine Geary was Ellen Brody, the wife. I will say I did have trouble understanding Quint. Quint's the seafaring guy, the old salty fisherman guy. I did have trouble understanding him sometimes. I feel like he mumbled. And I was just like, come on, man. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, at all. And that was unfortunate, but maybe you're just not supposed to know what he's saying because he's just that kind of guy. Who knows? But yeah, Jaws is it's really just kind of an amazing film. Like, I don't like saying that, but not that I don't like saying that. I feel like it's cliched because people praise Jaws all the time, so. It is a little woke, though. I will say, the movie is a little woke. So, be careful. If you're sensitive to wokeness, Jaws has wokeness. Because it talks about greed versus taking care of people. Because the sheriff wanted to shut down the beaches, but the mayor didn't because it was tourist season. He wanted money, 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 money. And he didn't shut down the beaches till it affected his family directly. So, woke! Just so you know. But you know what's funny? This movie came out in 1975, the same year as Shivers, the Cronenberg film that we reviewed earlier this year. And if you compare those two movies, one being PG and one being R, it's very odd because I feel like there's probably more gruesome deaths in Jaws really than Shivers, or maybe they're more equal. I don't know, but I feel like Jaws is very like blood. Plus, they're chumming, so they're throwing blood and guts in the water as it is. You have violence against animals in it. So it's very much that. I mean, I should get my DVD. I want to rewatch like the first 5 to 10 minutes because I didn't miss that, just so I can experience that. But yeah, but what am I going to rate Jaws? That's the question. I mean, like I said, classic. And just the more I learn about it, the more I'm impressed by the filmmaking that created it. And there's a documentary about it that I would love to watch. I just don't know where to find it. It might just be on YouTube. Yeah. I was again. It was a good weekend of movies. I knew I was gonna like it because it's Jaws. I know I like Jaws. It just, I don't know. Seeing things on the big screen is just so fantastic, you know. And Regal's doing this masterpiece month. This whole month of showing masterpiece films every day, and they're not doing it in my theater, which is so unfortunate because I would love to see The Godfather in theaters, or see Citizen Kane, or Casablanca, or even rewatch Interstellar or The Dark Knight on the big screen, like, or Shawshank Redemption. I've never seen that. That'd be cool to see. Or Forrest Gump. I'd love to see that on the big screen. Although I think I've seen Forrest Gump on the big screen. I think I went and saw it for its anniversary. So, but unfortunately, they're only showing them one day at a time, and not at my theater. So, although the aunt did say that she might want to go see 2001: A Space Odyssey on the 26th. So we might be doing that. Which I've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but it would be pretty amazing to see that in theaters. I mean, that's one of the most visually striking films that, you know, people always reference that film. So that would be a really cool thing to see on the big screen. I would love to see all of them. Could you imagine? I don't even know what it would do with myself to go to the movies 30 days in a row to see 30 different movies. That'd be insane. I would have no time for anything. Just going to the movies every day. I mean, I'd do it. I'd do it. But yeah, we can't. Anyway, Jaws. Rating Jaws. Rating Jaws. How would we rate Jaws? Obviously, you know, there's issues with it, with being not realistic shark stuff. But it's a very impactful film. Crazy work went into it. It's crazy that it even was even made, to be honest. I think most people will probably give it a 10. Got your number one back. Who was... Carl Biscuits was doing better than you. Uh-oh. Carl Biscuits has you beat. That's funny. I guess Carl Biscuits left. That's disappointing for you. Not the Biscuit Queen. Let's look at Jaws' budget. Jaws' budget was $7 million. Isn't that crazy? $7 million. They said that each of the sharks cost $250,000 to make. And Jaws made $490 million. Its opening weekend, it made the entire budget back, $7 million. But $490 million. That's insane. That's not how. No, I gotta clear that. I'm trying to do some math here real quick. There we go. It's like 70 times. I should have done that math. 7 times 7 is 49. They're 70 times its budget back. Crazy. I don't know if that includes any re-releases or anything like that. But it was very successful around the world too. It was $279 million in the U.S. and Canada. So it is. It's just plain good cinema. And I don't want to be one of those dudes, one of those dude bros, you know, who love Jaws. Some of the stuff doesn't work for me, but how about we give it a nice, solid 9? Huh? How about that? This would be the highest score today. And it really holds up. At least in my opinion, it really holds up after 50 years. It still has the suspense. It has the drama. It has there's some humor in there. I don't feel like the humor might not work for everybody, just because like there's like a conversation in the boat between the three main male leads that people might not really be into. It's an iconic scene, but it might not be that. Now the rest of the Jaw movies, couldn't tell you. Jaws 1 though, that's what we're talking about. 9 out of 10. I can't think if I ever gave anything a 10 out of 10. I'm not sure. At the water park, I don't. Is that like number 3 or 4 probably? I feel like that's probably number 3 or number 4. I remember seeing an image of like an underwater shot, and there's like a tube, I guess people walk through, and there's just like the shark is just coming up, and it's a very static shark, like it's not moving towards the camera. I remember seeing that. That brings us to our final movie of the evening, which is The Roses, which came out August 29th, 2025, which is actually the same day as Caught Stealing. A tinderbox of competition and resentments underneath the facade of a picture-perfect couple is ignited when the husband's professional dreams come crashing down. It's an interesting way of putting the synopsis. The Roses stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, 2 fantastic actors. I mean, that's really the reason why I wanted to see it. Plus, the trailer had It's Oh So Quiet playing in it. It's okay, Prince. I understand. I figured you were going to leave. I hope somebody else takes number 1 from you. I will take number 1. This is a remake or a reinterpretation from the movie War of the Roses, starring Kathleen Turner, Danny DeVito, and Michael Douglas, which was based on a book of the same name. Those came out in 81 and 89. Movie 89, book 81. I'm going to go through some of my new DVDs that I got from his stuff as well. It's mostly VHSs though. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. The thing about The Roses is that it's a fine film throughout the whole thing, for sure. There were certain parts that I literally laughed out loud, and there was only one other person in the theater with me, some guy sitting down there. I didn't hear him laugh at all, but maybe he's a quiet laugher. But Coleman and Cumberbatch play a great couple. They played off each other really well. They just have this rapport that feels so natural. Like their chemistry is just phenomenal. Which is great, because the rest of the cast, their chemistry is not as phenomenal. It's not terrible, but it's just not as much there. I mean, obviously the rest of the cast, like the other characters, aren't the focus of the film. You know, Ivy and Theo Rose are the main characters. But Theo, which is better than Cumberbatch, obviously, his best friend is played by Andy Samberg. Now, I'm not a huge Andy Samberg fan, to be honest. I think he's very often one note, and I feel like he comes off as annoying mostly. I mean, he's the reason why I never watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think that's what it's called. Because I just don't care for his character. Every time I watch a clip from that show, he's always like my least favorite part of that clip. like, he's okay in some stuff, but I just find that, like, he, more often than not, I'm not a big fan of his. And his wife, Amy, is played by Kate McKinnon. Now, I love Kate McKinnon, but she has kind of the same thing sometimes, where her character comes off as very, like, forced. Like, her character in Barbie, I think, was fine. But then some of the characters she played on SNL were like, you know, they were kind of like the same character over and over. So the fact that they're married in this movie, it was just like, oh man, I don't know if I can handle two people who are off sometimes. And she was funny, like they both had funny lines, but sometimes it did feel a little forced with Sandberg, and sometimes McKinnon's lines felt a little forced as well. And that's disappointing because they're pretty much the other two main characters aside from the leads. I did not research how to say this guy's name. He's the guy who played the most recent iteration of Doctor Who. Kuti Gatwa. He's in it. He's very ripped. I liked him though. He was good. And then Sunita Mani. Oh, she was in Death of the Unicorn and in Spirited. Both things. And Everything Everywhere All at Once. All those things I've seen. So that's interesting. But some of the other characters, like, because in the trailer you see a dinner party that's happening, and they do like a little banter. That's funny. I like the characters in that scene. I thought that was really funny. I can't say what they said in the trailer because I think it's probably against YouTube stuff for me to say it. But I thought that was very funny, and I still thought it was funny in the movie, even though I saw it in the trailer a dozen times already, because I go to the movies so much. I am disappointed that they did not play It Was So Quiet in the movie. The kid actors were good, but Patootie was very talkative. He wants to make sure that he's the #1 fan of every stream, so he makes sure he gets all his words in. The kids felt more like an afterthought, to be honest. I mean, they were a catalyst for Theo's actions after he lost his job, but they're not as big of a focus as you would think for a couple that's having issues. Also, hi. I am disappointed that Allison Janney is hardly in this movie. As you saw from the trailer, she plays the lawyer, and she's very cutthroat. It's the scene that she's in the whole film, and it's just like, you could have used her a bunch. I hope that there's other scenes, maybe on a physical release or something, because that's a waste of a good actress. Allison Janney, I believe she's an Oscar winner, isn't she? So it's like, at least the Golden Globe winner, Emmy winner. Like, the fact that she was wasted like that, so disappointing. She doesn't have children. She makes $125,000 an episode on that show. Mom. She's 65. Sorry, we're just looking up Allison Janney. But no, I was really disappointed she wasn't in the movie more. But yeah, honestly, I thought it was funny. But I feel like it could have been funnier. I feel like the supporting cast could have been more tight with the way they deliver their lines, or just their lines in general. And it could have been a bit more snappy, because Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch are very snappy to each other. It has that very dry, quick British humor, which I really love. But the rest of the cast, the American cast, they weren't given that same type of dialogue. They all felt really crude, but not crude in like inappropriate, crude isn't just bare minimum. Like they weren't given as much work as the main cast, which makes sense, but you could have given them a little bit something else. I think the story flows very nicely. You know, it's basically two broken people who can't communicate with each other, and that can get tiresome sometimes because you know you just look at them and you're like, talk to each other, just talk to each other. That's all you have to do is have a conversation with each other. That's it. But you know, it does overlap sometimes, and they do regress a bit, which is a little disappointing. I will say that the audio at some points felt a little low, especially with the dialogue between Olivia and Benedict. I felt like there were certain times when they were talking, I would miss entire sentences. And I mean, I am getting older, so maybe it's my hearing. But generally speaking, I don't think it was me. I think it might have been a bit of a sound mixing thing, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, I definitely feel that some people might think that this movie drags on a bit. Because it is, how long is this movie? I feel like it's pretty long. It's an hour and 45 minutes. It's actually not that long. I feel like it might have felt a little longer than that, to be honest. Because there were just some parts that were just kind of like, we've already had this disagreement, so why are we having it again? You know? Like, I thought we already settled this. I thought it was already completed. So why are we rehashing it? The ending was unexpected. I don't know what I was expecting, but certainly wasn't that. But yeah, it was an enjoyable film. It's sitting at a 7 on IMDb, and I think that's a pretty accurate score for it. I feel like it could have been a bit better. Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch really held that film together. They definitely were the glue for that film. I thought you were leaving, sir. You know, come back and bring him back in so you can keep your number one. I don't know. I'm actually going to go see this movie again on Tuesday, I believe it is. So I texted the aunt last week about going to the movies, and I gave her a list of movies that we could see. I said The Roses. I said Jaws. I was like, I don't know if you're afraid of Jaws. Okay. Well, good night. And I mentioned... There was another movie I asked her if she wanted to see. And she said, basically told me no. But as soon as I saw her yesterday, she's like, oh, I was thinking about maybe we can go see that movie, The Roses. I watched a trailer for it and I thought it looked good. And I'm like, she was like, okay, we can do that. And then she mentioned it again before we left, and I was just like, I've seen it. Okay? I just want to let you know. I was like, I'll see it again. But I'm just telling you, I have seen it. And she's like, oh, okay. So we're going to go see that. Probably Tuesday. So, will I like it better a second time? Maybe. Maybe I'll pick up some of those jokes that I missed because I couldn't hear the audio. Because it will be at a different theater. Maybe it might have just been my theater. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, as a rating for The Roses, I... Because I'm like leaning towards a 7. Because while I did enjoy myself while I was watching it, I left not really feeling much, if I could say that. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't like generally moved. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like, it was an enjoyable experience. I'm glad I watched it. Would I watch it again? I am watching it again. So yes, I would watch it again. But after all of it was said and done, you know, I wasn't super blown away. So I think a 7 for that is actually really good. So that leaves us, that's all the movies then. So we, The Roses, that's a 7 out of 10. Jaws, we gave a 9 out of 10. Caught Stealing, we gave an 8 out of 10. And Twinless, we gave it 8.5 out of 10. Those are all the movies that we had on our schedule for today. And what you're thinking, why is he putting on a glove? So we still have some time left in this stream. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go through some more movies. My last YouTube live last month was going through my dad's DVDs and his movie collection since he's passed. And I have more that I got from his stuff. But I haven't had a chance to clean them. So they're really dusty and dirty. So I'm not going to touch them with my bare hands. So I'm going to wear a glove. It's a lot more VHSs this time, which is fine. I took his VHS player too. So even though I already have one. But here, we'll just kind of blitz through them just so we can get it done. So we have Pretty Woman is open. Obviously, Richard Gere, Julia Roberts. If you don't know what Pretty Woman is, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put 2 gloves on. I feel like I might need just 2 so I can manipulate these better. I know, it's crazy. My dad's house is very, very dirty, so these movies are very, very dirty. Some of them are better than others. But yes, so Pretty Woman. I mean, I'm hoping they're not like moldy or anything, because I don't know how he stored them. Like I said, it is open. Pretty Woman. Oh look, there's even an insert in here. And a thing we can and a thing we could send in. I was gonna make a TikTok about that from the last video we did. It looks good though. The tape looks really in really good shape. That's really nice. Anyway, focus. Moving on. Married to the Mob, who's Michelle Pfeiffer, which this does not look like Michelle Pfeiffer to me, but it is Michelle Pfeiffer. Alec Baldwin, Dean Stockwell. I've heard of this movie. I just never seen it. It is Married to the Mob, but there's a. It smells like a basement. Ugh. Here's a 4-film sci-fi collector's edition from Walmart Value Bin. You know, us in our Value Bin. It has The Black Hole with Judd Nelson, Final Days of Planet Earth with Daryl Hannah, The Last Sentinel with Dom the Dragon Wilson and Katie Sackhoff, and Supernova with Luke Perry and Peter Fonda. I feel like I have maybe Supernova already. These don't look like very good movies. I feel like this is from 2009, by the way. I feel like these are like made for TV type of movies. I don't mind that. We got Terminator 3, which I actually are back DVD. This is very dirty. It's very grimy. This is a 2-disc special edition. That's cool. I don't know if mine's a 2-disc special edition or not. See, the stream's a little behind. We got Terminator 2 Judgment Day on VHS. Obviously one of the best films I've ever seen as a kid. Or as an adult, or as anything. The sticker just came off. I don't know where it went. How does it get movies out of these cases? Good God. I feel like this one might not be in good shape. This is from 1991. I can't get it out, so we need to move on. Move on. We got Cinderella Man with Renee Zellweger and Russell Crowe. It's a boxing movie, not my type of film. This one is very damaged, very dirty. The case is broken. Looks like something chewed on it, probably a dog. This one I thought really surprised me. It's the Chronicles of Riddick triple pack, which is interesting because I just bought the Chronicles of Riddick triple pack myself on Blu-ray. So now I also have it on DVD. Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and Dark Fury. which is the unrated director's cut. Also unopened, of course, because my dad doesn't open movies. We got Coyote Ugly, which I have not seen. It's an interesting movie for my dad to have. Oh, this one has those little snaps. Those little snaps on there. It's Coyote Ugly, alright. It's the unrated extended cut. Maybe that's why he has it. I don't know what that movie has in it. It has nudity or anything. Don't mess with the Zohan. This is not open. It's funny because he's doing the same move that I'm doing in my thumbnail for this video. It's unrated. It's previously viewed, so it's not. Technically, it's not new, actually. I'm not sure we're gonna watch it. It's Atlas Shrugged Part 2. Also still wrapped in plastic. I've never seen Atlas Shrugged Part 1. I'm not sure if Part 1 was in the previous collection. We got Inglourious Basterds, which I have seen. Obviously, Quentin Tarantino. This movie is really good. I believe something's broken in here because the disc is just rolling around. Oh no, it's just not in it. I have this already. Also available on Blu-ray to get the most from your HD TV. Also has a little coupon on there where you can save $5 when you buy Inglourious Basterds, plus one of the following: American Pie, or The Book of Love, Public Enemies, Funny People, or Bruno. Oh, it expired in 2010. 15 years late to that discount there, guys. This one I saw. It's The Sandlot, and it's not open. It's completely brand new The Sandlot. It has the Fox Movie Club thing in there. You got $5 mail-in rebate for the purchase of any one of these Mattel Aviva sports toys, the Mongo bat, Elastic Catch set, T-ball set. You know, has like the Fox stamps here on the back. This is completely. I will not be opening this, by the way. I'm going to keep it in here. I've seen The Sandlot, obviously. I haven't even seen it in theaters, actually. I think I saw it in theaters in the original run. That's stack number 1. I'm just going to move it out of the way. We're going through it, guys. We're going through it. We got Stargate SG-1, first season. Sealed, never opened. I don't know how many seasons there are. But if I only got the first season, it's going to be kind of hard to watch the whole show. They contain nudity in adult situations. My dad loves Stargate. I mean, I love Stargate the movie. I never seen the show though. We got Troy, with Brad Pitt and Orlando Bloom and Eric Bana. This is not open. This is brand new. Like a brand new VHS. That's so crazy to me to have a brand new VHS. AOL keyword Troy. Isn't that crazy? AOL keyword Troy. Brand new, unopened. I think I have Alexander. I don't think I have Troy. Then we got Waiting, which is actually really funny. Ryan Reynolds is another one of those actors who's like, you know, good but not good. This is a 2-disc edition. Do we really need a 2-disc special edition of Waiting? That's crazy. Also has Dane Cook in it, who's another acquired taste. We got Free Jack, which is Amelia Estevez, Mick Jagger, and Anthony Hopkins. Alex Furlong died today. 18 years from now, he'll be running for his life. It's a weekly rental, guys. 7-day, 6-night rental. I've never heard of this movie. It says squeeze and shake. Squeeze and shake, guys. Squeeze and shake. It's in this plastic case that you get for rentals. I've never heard of this movie. If you've heard of it, let me know. But in 2009, Alex Furlong's got to move a lot faster. 2009. The movie's not from 2009, by the way. It's just that that's what the future takes place. Let me search for this movie. Free Jack movie. 1992. Interesting. Never heard of it. We got A League of Their Own. We do love A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball. It looks good. They do smell, not mildewy, but they do smell a little bit. So it's a little concerning. We got The Last Boy Scout. I like this movie. This is Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans. This is actually a really good movie. I think Halle Berry's in this too, right? This is really good. They had this at work, and I watched it all the time. It's very funny. I have dust falling off my lap. Don't worry, we're almost done. We got Platoon, the 1986 Best Picture winner. Platoon with Willem Dafoe and Charlie Sheen and from Oliver Stone. I've never seen this. It's been on my list of things to watch. You know, I'm so excited about Last Boy Scout. This is on Golden Pond, which is a triple Academy Award winner apparently. Stars Jane Fonda, Audrey Hepburn, Henry Fonda as well. It's from 1981. Make sure it's actually that movie and I'm not trying to show you something inappropriate. We got Secondhand Lions with Michael Caine, Robert Duvall, and Haley Joel Osment. This is unopened as well. Haley Joel Osment, this is when he was moving on into his teen years. Never seen it. Okay. We got a lot of random discs. These are burned movies, which probably won't work. Step Brothers, The Reaping, Cocaine Cowboys, Norbit, The Pursuit of Happiness. I don't actually need that because I have that already on DVD. Turistas, that's a horror movie. That one's blank, so we'll open that one. The Da Vinci Code. So these are all rock. That's a CD, so I'll have to look at that. Wilderness. Crush Groove. Wait, that's a real DVD. Oh, that's a real DVD. Crush Groove. I'll have to check that out. What's Crush Groove? Blood Diamond? I'll put that to the side. You know what Crush Groove is, guys? KRUSHGROOVE. Crush Groove is a 1985 film, American musical comedy drama film by Michael Schultz. It has a big hit, King of Rock by Run DMC. Only 43% Rotten Tomatoes, but 6 and something. Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny, and Boondock Saints widescreen. Night at the Museum. Reno 911, that's a fun one. Medea's Family Reunion, that's not really my taste. I don't like Medea. I think Medea's annoying. I wrote an essay about her before. This is The Blood. I don't know. I'll have to put that. That looks like a music CD, not a movie DVD. The Story of Stuff. What's the story of stuff? It sounds interesting. It's a 2007 film. Story of Stuff is a non-profit organization that produces films and campaigns to explore the problems of overconsumption and plastic pollution. It's a little woke. My dad was a MAGA guy. That's interesting. These are like transforming debt into wealth DVDs. I don't need those. Yeah, that's kind of woke there, Dad. American Pie, Naked Mile. Ooh, that is very dusty. I'm gonna vacuum before I go to bed. Evil Dead. I think I have Evil Dead 2. I mean, I've seen Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 3. Interesting. Nice. This DVD is from 2002. It's 23 years old, guys. Stargate and the Ark of Truth, a feature-length conclusion to the Ori saga, only on DVD with this gross hair flapping off of it. Come here. We're almost done. This is like 3 more. Stargate Continuum. I don't know if there's another feature film or something with Stargate franchise. Funnies, that'll go with the rest of the football funnies we got. This is from 1987, guys. This is an oldie. Football funnies. We have an unopened copy covered in hair and grossness of Walt Disney's Cool Runnings. I've seen this movie. I didn't like it as a kid. Maybe I'll like it as an adult. But I don't think I'm going to open this. This is literally sealed with the Walt Disney seal. It's probably not worth anything. But John Candy. Cool Runnings. Get a $4 rebate and a $2 coupon from Sudafed. Save up to $10. That's pretty exciting. Well, that coupon's still good. Ooh, it expired in 1995. I don't know why my dad's had this for that long. Unopened. Bar to Bar 99. It's a motorsports VHS. And then the last one is a Girls Gone Wild one, but I'm not going to show you that one. So that we don't show on stream. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. It's a very nice stream here. We talked about 4 movies: Jaws, Caught Stealing, The Roses, and come on, I can think of it. Twinless. I just watched it today. I should know that better. I literally just watched it today. Oops. We'll be back tomorrow on Twitch. We'll be streaming on Twitch some video games. I'm not sure what right now. Might be more Battlefield, or maybe if we're doing a solo night, we'll play some more RoboCop. But yeah, thanks for watching here. We got some new faces here. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. I do post a video every week, a movie review. Sometimes it's for my bargain bin, which might be an older movie or a recent movie. And sometimes we do movies directly out of the theater. Our most recent one is The Threesome, which was a Regal mystery movie that played last week. I do reviews for pretty much all the Regal mystery movies, except for the 2 that I walk out on. So, if you could sub, that'd be great. Trying to hit 300 by the end of the year. We're currently at 288. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon. Okay? Thanks. I appreciate it.